The Dallas Mavericks took a commanding 3-0 series lead over the Minnesota Timberwolves in the Western Conference Finals, with dynamic performances from Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving guiding the team. Both players scored 33 points while combining to outscore the Timberwolves in the fourth quarter with 21, compared to Minnesota having 20. The first few possessions were helpful for Dallas to feel out what Minnesota was trying to do defensively. Doncic was the focus of blitzes, and the Mavericks came up empty on a few 4-on-3 attacks. Irving stepped out of bounds attacking baseline on one play, followed by Gafford losing the ball on a short roll attack. The Mavericks stayed patient and ultimately were rewarded by getting the ball to Washington in the corner for a made jumper after playing in the pocket against the blitz. The offense opened up playing out of delay that flowed into a zoom action after Doncic started in the corner while Irving was deployed as the pin-down screener. Minnesota was intent on staying attached to Irving and blitzing Doncic, with Luka holding the double team to force the low man to make a commitment to the roller or the corner. He countered Anthony Edwards, tagging the roller by passing to P.J. Washington, who nexted the ball to Derrick Jones Jr. in the corner for the open three-pointer. Irving's involvement as the first screener in double drag was helpful for Dallas here. Conley switches the screen this time, which gives the Mavericks the mismatch they want. Gafford slips to the rim to give Doncic space to hunt Conley, enabling him to drag him out wide before getting into the between-the-legs step back on the left wing, his favorite spot. After Irving set that first screen again, Conley switched on to Doncic. Washington brought Karl-Anthony Towns into the action by coming up to screen next, creating a chance for Doncic to split a hedge attempt to attack the gap. Minnesota quickly helped on the drive, creating a spray-out pass to Irving. It wasn't the cleanest exchange, but Irving had an isolation chance to attack Conley and drew a foul on a turnaround jumper. Dallas missed on the first attempt when pushing the pace, but the sequence created an opportunity for Washington to attack Towns off the catch as a trailer, resulting in an impressive scoop finish. This play was a great display of why it's challenging to blitz the Mavericks now. Doncic used the first screen out of double drag by throwing a behind-the-back pass to Washington on the pop. He used a pass fake on the catch to create a clean drive to go middle, then sprayed it out to Jones in the weak side corner. Jones beat Towns on the closeout and was patient to draw Gobert and help before making a drop-off pass on the bounce. Doncic commanded a blitz out of this zoom action again, with Lively doing a great job of sealing the tag man on the roll to create a clean passing window for Doncic against the double team. The result is an easy dunk. By pushing the pace, Doncic draws Conley as his matchup, and he quickly works to post him up. Using a drop step, he pulls Gobert to commit and help off the dunker spot, leaving Lively wide open for the lob. Dallas continued to feature Doncic in a zoom action, and he drew another blitz. This time, he used his eyes to set up a no-look pass to the weak side corner for Josh Green. Green made an extra pass to Jaden Hardy on the wing, but Gobert recovered on the catch. Doncic passed it back to Hardy to isolate against Gobert, and he missed the finish, but this shows trust. With Jaden McDaniels picking up Doncic full court, Lively screened for him to allow Doncic to get deep in the paint for a short-range pull-up jumper that he hit. Doncic received the ball out of a zoom action, but he shot the gap instead of coming off the handoff, given how often Minnesota was blitzing and saw Gobert playing up to the level. Reed helped off the strong side corner, resulting in Doncic getting into a quick post-up and taking a turnaround jumper around the nail. This is a great example of the challenges of having a thinner frame defender guard Doncic. He uses contact to his favor to create a wide-open step-back three-pointer. Here's another instance when Minnesota helped off Jones to create an advantage. This time, Reed takes a charge as Gafford is rolling to the rim and has his head turned away from Reed, making him unsuspecting of it. Without Gobert on the court, it was challenging for Minnesota to handle Irving in this zoom action. He didn't come off the handoff with the defender expecting him to do so. He stopped on a dime and used a reject to attack the rim, protecting the ball by sweeping it high before a finish. Minnesota defended at a high level for most of the shot clock, but this is a great display of why it's important to have aggressive complementary scoring threats. Hardy makes a play late in the clock with the step back in mid-range before the buzzer. Minnesota tried to hedge and recover against Irving in double drag with Towns. This allowed Lively to slip the screen in the middle of the floor before finding Green wide open on the wing, resulting in a three-pointer. Lively is operating out of a delay set and hands it off to Irving, then flips the screen. Kyrie draws a double team and drags the defenders out wide. Minnesota tries to X out on the weak side, but the ball gets to Jones quickly enough to get a clean shot in the corner that he hits. Irving breaks down Minnesota's ball screen coverage by dragging out Towns wide with him playing up and trying to double. Reading that Towns wants to release from him, Irving creates a lane by stopping on a dime with a crossover and immediately dribbles between his legs with Towns retreating because Conley is still on his left side. Due to the coverage, Irving gets deep downhill to play off two and finish a floater. Irving screened for Doncic to get Conley switched onto him. With Doncic posting him up, this forced the defense to show help long enough for Irving to drift to the corner and get a shot off. Good look, but he missed it. Doncic drawing two defenders early when pushing the pace created a reversal that led to ball movement, setting up Washington to attack a closeout for a floater playing off two in the paint. Minnesota was very focused on sending an early low man against Irving when he attacked the paint. He uses a spin move to reject a ball screen before taking a scoop finish. Towns is already rotating over as the move is being made and pressures him at the rim. This play becomes Irving getting the ball in the corner to make a play late in the clock. He freezes Edwards using a jab step right to fake a baseline drive, which gets Edwards to open up his stance, giving up the drive right. Irving then has space to get deep on a drive and completes the play with a left-hand floater playing off two, so Edwards couldn't recover and block the shot. Minnesota was aggressive, loading up at the nail against Irving, even with Doncic spacing deep off the wing. Luka took another catch-and-shoot jumper to make the defense respect this option, but missed the shot. With Irving playing out of double drag, he identified Gobert deep dropping, so he got low while pushing the ball in front to get to the pull-up three-pointer and made the shot. With the Timberwolves switching the screen, Doncic countered by going between the legs and reading the strong side help after a few dribbles. Using a back-down dribble with the defense having to respect Irving as a spacer, he got into a right-hand floater playing off two and connected. The willingness to take the quick catch and shoot earlier paid off for Doncic on this shot. It was necessary to counter the early nail help rotation against Irving, and he made it on this shot. Since the Timberwolves let Doncic turn the corner while playing out of double drag, he used his size advantage to draw a foul on the drive. Once again, Doncic makes Minnesota pay by taking the catch-and-shoot jumper with Irving playing pick and roll and commanding the early nail help rotation. Conley gets switched onto Doncic, with Irving being the first screener in double drag. With Gobert focused on protecting the paint, Doncic settles for a jumper against the smaller defender, but the shot is offline this time. Minnesota had to live with Irving hunting Conley since Edwards was being hidden on a weaker offensive player. Irving used a rip-through to attack baseline before getting to a floater to avoid dealing with rim protection. This play put a lot of pressure on Towns by deploying Gafford out of delay. One option out of it was for Irving to receive a handoff out of zoom action on one side, but Gafford instead went to Doncic on the second side, putting the weak side in a tough spot where Towns had to guard two with one as the big defender. With Doncic being patient, Gafford got behind Towns for the lob. With a drive first by Irving followed was met with Gobert rotating in the paint before a pass out to Green. The ball found Doncic, and this play became a great indication of how aggressive the Timberwolves became with rotating off the weak side corner. This shot was a miss, but Luka's patience snaking into the gap created a wide-open shot. McDaniels went under this screen from Gafford to prevent Doncic from turning the corner attacking space going right. Doncic stayed patient and retreated back out to the perimeter and drew contact with a low dribble before using a between-the-legs move, but no foul was called. Gafford rescreened and Minnesota blitzed. Doncic dragged them wide before hitting Gafford on the roll, but Reed was rotated early as the low defender and met Gafford on the catch to disrupt the finish. Gobert was playing higher in ball screen coverage with Irving handling the ball to respect the threat of his pull-up jumper. Irving snaked into the gap and got to a short-range spot for a jumper, but missed this one. Irving got another chance to attack Gobert, but this time it was using a flare screen before the catch, causing him to commit to a switch. Irving used a jab crossover to create the initial advantage, then got downhill before using a step back going to his left and made the shot. Pushing the pace was important. Doncic got deep on a drive, played off two, and used a fake to get Edwards to foul. Another instance where Doncic trusted Hardy to attack Gobert. This time it was after a veer switch and he dribbled through to the other side of the floor. Doncic signaled to him to attack instead of passing him the ball. Hardy ended up going between the legs and used a fake to get Gobert to step up and drew the foul. Minnesota blitzed Doncic once again, putting Dwight Powell into a short roll. Hardy got a clean look on the wing but couldn't knock this one down. With Minnesota trying to take the ball out of Doncic's hands, he kept pushing on the break when available. Here he gets to a short-range pull-up jumper. Continuing to trust Hardy paid off for Doncic and the Mavs. He manages to finish through contact against Gobert deep on a drive for an and-one. This was a savvy approach by Irving. He gets the ball on a handoff from Gafford with Towns playing up to touch. He simply dribbles to open space near the nail and waits for Towns to recover back to Gafford. Then uses a few back-down dribbles before avoiding a stunt by sweeping the ball high on the pivot for the scoop finish. Irving gets blitzed and gives it up to Gafford on the short roll. Once again, Reed is rotated over early and disrupts the finish attempt to force the miss. Similar to Doncic, Irving counters by attacking on the break and hits the pull-up from the perimeter. Minnesota tries to show and recover, allowing Gafford to dive to the rim and fill the dunker spot, essentially becoming an isolation play for Irving with space to attack. He works the defender to the paint for the step back in the paint. With Irving drawing two defenders and moving the ball, Gafford flies to the opposite block and Towns commits to guarding Doncic in the corner when the ball gets to him. Now it's an isolation play with space, allowing him to use a jab step into a step back for the three-pointer with high arc, and he gets it to fall. Washington coming up to screen pulls Reed into the action after the defense tries to show and recover. Washington slips the screen, then comes back up to rescreen. Irving attacks space by rejecting without help defense in position, resulting in Irving drawing a foul playing off two. Josh Green was used as a guard-to-guard screen numerous times on this possession to first open up a drive for Doncic attacking away. He got into the paint and passed it to Irving, who was blitzed. Irving faked a pass, then drove into Conley before countering to turn the corner to get to the paint for a scoop finish. He missed it, but Washington crashed with Towns not boxing out, resulting in a putback. With Doncic pushing on the break, he got Reed as a matchup and stayed patient for the offense to clear out. A stunt near the nail slowed up Doncic, resulting in him playing out of a quick post up to set up a turnaround jumper that he hit. With Minnesota continuing to double early, Dallas stays patient and gets the ball to the corner, setting up Washington to attack a closeout, then get it to Irving on the weak side, who redrove it for a left-hand finish after getting by Edwards. Doncic brought up Gafford to screen far off the three-point line, causing Minnesota to be at a disadvantage after Doncic passed to Irving. Edwards completely fell asleep on this possession, giving up a wide-open shot for Washington in the corner that he hit, with Gafford flipping the screen and Gobert backpedaling to protect the paint. Doncic attacked open space with Anderson on his right hip and stayed patient long enough to make the drop-off pass to Gafford after he got behind Gobert. McDaniels didn't give up the switch on this play, but Doncic had space to attack. Playing out of a fake-off two, Doncic got into a one-legged turnaround jumper and hit the shot. With Towns playing up against Irving and having an empty corner to work with, he focused on turning the corner against Towns and used his quickness before hitting the brakes to create space for the baseline jumper. Doncic saw the similar coverage he got when he dropped it off to Gafford earlier. This time, he slows his pace further out to set up the left-hand lob before Gobert could get in position, resulting in a dunk. Thank you for watching this video all the way through. If you haven't already, I'd greatly appreciate if you subscribe to my channel. It also helps if you like this video and comment to help the algorithm spread it to other users. Thank you for continuing to support my work, and check back soon for more coverage of the Dallas Mavericks as they play out their postseason run.